Hello everyone, and welcome to this meeting of the Events Committee. Do we have any apologies, Nathan?
Yes, we received apologies from Councillor Alice Mann.
Thank you very much. And is there any declaration of interest? No. And can I have a proposal and a seconder for the minutes of the last meeting? Thank you, Ian. Thank you.
Who second then? Sorry.
Yeah.
David Cart.
David, yeah.
David Cart second.
Oh, Michael seconded, yeah. And with no public forum, so instead, because there's been a request to move item 12 up earlier by Councillor Robinson, I'll move that one instead of.
Interrupt.
Yeah, no problem.
As an events committee,
Yeah.
could we offer our condolences to the people in Liverpool at that event?
Yeah, I'm sure we can.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So item 12, onto the remembrance update, Nathan.
So we're all prepared for Remembrance Sunday. So everything's been arranged. The first aid's all been booked. The road closure's been arranged. We've got AB Brass Band joining us, and we've asked Steve Sumner of the Bagpipes to join us as well. The poppy for the wreath, for the events downstairs already. And we've got a sponsor this year for the lamppost poppies, which is Coalition Facilities Management. So they've pretty much paid for the lamppost poppies for this year. We have provisionally booked the PA system for the back of the quad for the parade. However, Rainbow Drumming Circle have kindly offered to lead the parade with a couple of drummers to replace the quad bike and PA system. So it's just to see if everyone's happy with that, and then that way I can cancel the PA hire down, and obviously we can utilise the Rainbow Drumming Circle.
I think that's an excellent idea, Nathan. So could we take a vote on that, please? Yeah, of course you can, Andy.
Yeah. Obviously, before you vote, obviously it's not a concern, but I'd like to clarify for myself. Is you say a couple of drummers? Is this just going to be a bass drum, or is this going to be bass drum and snare drums?
I think Councillor Robinson should enlighten us onto exactly what is the Rainbow Drumming Circle. Thank you.
Of course, Councillor Robinson, would you like to provide some more information?
Thank you, Chair. I've got one here, ready prepared. It's basically what we call a frame drum or shamanic drum. It's loud. We're going to have a minimum of 3 of us, and you'll hear it. And we're going to be doing the actual marching beat. I can give you a brief demonstration if you want to see if it's suitable.
That's what I was asking. Is not only the demonstration, it's just a case of, is it going to be a bass drum type?
About minimum 3, possibly 10. I think you'll hear that.
Thank you. All I was asking, was it going to be like an event that we do like see outside the library, or is it going to be a military type style?
Military type style. With that beat,
yeah.
That's it. And because the main thing with this is that it's great having lots of music, but you've got to remember this is a parade. This is a time of reflection. It's a time of remembrance
and
respect. And so marching quietly to that beat, that martial beat, I think shows that respect. And like I say, gives especially the veterans that time to remember those who've gone before.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that one. So I'll just,
Chair, can I,
yeah, of course.
can I offer our thanks to the Rainbow Drummers for agreeing to be our beat for the Remembrance Parade. I'm hoping that it'll be a success.
Yeah, I'll have to actually, I can't vote until I have to declare a non-pecuniary interest on this one, so I can't vote.
Yeah, of course, Ian. Thank you. And so I'll put his vote to the rest of the committee. All those in favour of, I think that's unanimous. So there you are, Nathan. Yeah, we can amend that. So I'll just put it again. So I just put the proposal again for the Rainbow Drumming Circle to be done for this year only, and then after the event we can then make a decision going forward. So all those in favour? Item carried. Thank you.
Can I just clarify who proposed that and who seconded it?
Yeah, was proposed by. I proposed it and Patricia seconded it.
That's fine, thank you.
So, item number 6 is to consider any candidates for co-option onto this committee for this events year of 2025 to 2026. Do we have any candidates?
I'd like to propose David.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder for David? Thank you very much, Ian. Have we got any other proposals for any other co-optees?
Can I ask a question?
The events terms of reference will be coming back to this month's full council for amendment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Who was co-opted last year?
Um,
How many was co-opted on last year?
So co-opted last year there was David and then there was Mick from Congala.
Well, I know we've just had a proposal taken for David. Has anybody spoke to Mick? If you'd be like to be co-opted again for this year? In that case, can I propose? I'll get it. I'll put my teeth back in a second. Propose that Mick is co-opted again for this year.
Thank you. And do we have a seconder for that? Thank you very much. So co-opted on are Mick and David for this year. And on for some feedback now on item 7, which was Eastern Calm.
So like every event, we've got a lovely video just to show what went on for those that couldn't be bothered to come along. Dorothy. So the day was very smooth sailing. It was enjoyed by quite a lot of people. We've had comments from Councillor Mann saying that the stalls, how they were spread out more, works better for those with access issues. And I've not had any complaints from businesses in the town centre on stalls being outside their shops or similar traders being outside their shops. So I think it was a good event overall. But if anyone's got any comments or concerns, please do let us know.
Yeah, well, thanks again for all your hard work on that one. And it is surprising, obviously, because normally sometimes there is normally like one or two who get a bit disgruntled about where we have the stalls put. So hopefully this is a positive trend going forward. Take a question from David, then Andy.
Hey, I just want to say massive thank you yet again for putting on an amazing event, and the staff are amazing. All the school worked out very good. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I think it was this one there. I actually had one comment, was the stall that was in front of the Red Lion car park entrance. They actually put the boardings up and it looked like it was a bit too blocking them in, if you like, the entrance to the Red Lion. It might have been this event or it could have been the event before. I think it was this one, I think.
I think that was because the trader they bring huskies with them.
Yeah.
And the van goes behind the stall so they can put the dogs away if they're getting too tired or it's a little bit too much for the dogs. So that's why they put bits of tape round so that people weren't walking in front of the van.
Yeah.
Whilst the dogs were in there, but something we have to look at changing slightly.
Yeah, I think it was something to do with there's a board or something that was put in front, right in front of the doorway for the front of the public house. If it was, I'd say it was either this event or the one prior. I'm trying to remember which one exactly. But
I'll have a look through photos and see if I can see anything.
Yeah, much appreciated. Thank you.
Pressure.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, I was having a chat with some of the stall holders, and they were happy with the new arrangements, and at least half of them have said that they can't wait to come back.
Every month we go through this same list and we talk about the same things, quite rightly. But once that's gone, can we not take them off the list? Do you know what I mean? Like the Easter one's gone, St George's V-Day's gone. So do they need to be put on every month the whole year?
Yeah.
So Easter's on there because it's the first meeting we've had since the Easter event. So it's feedback on the first meeting we've had since the Easter event. So after today's meeting, Easter won't be back on till next year. So we slowly start getting a smaller and smaller agenda. It's only on this meeting feedback.
Right, thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And on to the feedback, obviously, for St George's Day and VE Day. I think the flags were a really nice touch, and I've received some positive feedback throughout the town on it.
So the flags went up for St George's Day. We did put them up a week early because obviously the date that it was celebrated changed this year. But we put them up early and we kept them up to cover VE Day as well, which we received a lot of positive comments on social media, residents emailing in. There were quite a lot on social media saying that Colne's setting an example for all the neighbouring towns. So it was really well received throughout the town, and hopefully next year we can look at including a few more businesses, and each year slowly make it a little bit bigger and bigger until the full high street's covered.
Yeah, I'd like to obviously put a proposal that we keep this in place the following years. I mean, it was relatively inexpensive for us to do, but it was really well effective. So I was just wondering if we could get a seconder for maybe that proposal, obviously, so we can keep this ongoing. Thank you, Councillor Robinson. So before I take I'll take a question from Dorothy about it, and then we'll put that to a vote on.
I'm on it. Yeah. We are on B Day, aren't we? Yeah. Well, I'd like to thank Tony Davis for coming to me and saying, what can we do, as our committee weren't really doing a major event. And so what we did, we went to see Alex at the church, the vicar, and we met him up there 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon, and by the evening he'd done the whole service and emailed it to us. Everything was in place, and actually it was quite easy. There was about 150 people attended the church, along with the mayor and the deputy lieutenant. We all had coffee and cake after. And it was really, really nice. So I'm glad that something happened, and I felt actually that was just enough. We didn't need to have the town flooded with, a big parade or whatever. It, to me, that did, it did the thing, did that. So, yeah.
I'd like to echo Councillor Lord's comments on the service at St Bart's, and I'd like to know if it's possible. I'd like to propose that we send a thank you letter from this events committee to the Reverend Alex at St Bart's, thanking him for the wonderful service and the quickness of putting it on, because it was literally last minute that we decided on this, because Councillor Lord and myself looked at this at a Colne Vets meeting, and that's how quickly it came up. So I'd like that letter to go.
Yeah, I would gladly second that, so we can have a letter sent to obviously the Reverend on behalf of the committee. So I'm going to put we had a proposal, we've had a second, obviously, to continue this into future years. So could we put that to a vote, please? All those in favour? Oh, I forgot.
Can I have a clarification what you're actually looking at doing, please?
Obviously, to repeat what we've done with the the display
Just the flags.
Yeah.
Sorry, when you said that, we've gone on to the VE day.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
That's what I just wanted clarification for.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
So, anybody against a proposal? No, I think that's unanimous there. On to item number 9, the gala. I understand that we've sorted, obviously, the prince and princess of the gala. Have they been informed?
So we're almost there with the gala. So we've now got a gala king and a gala princess, which they've been informed, and we've starting to make arrangements with those to get them involved with the other galas happening in the area. The first one being Skipton Gala in about 2 weeks' time. You'll have in your papers, you'll have a copy of the Colne Gala event poster, which is now gone out on social media, and it'll be going into the shops in the coming weeks. The gateway boards have gone up for the gala, which we've had printed, so they're on the 4 entrances and exits to the town to show that we've got a big event coming up. You'll also have a copy of the site plan for what we'll be doing up on Holt House. And we've also got a contingency plan as well if weather isn't as nice as what we'd like. And then you've also got a draft copy of the schedule to show what's going on and what time stuff's taking place. But this hasn't gone out yet. So don't be taking a photo and sticking it on Facebook. So for the goal, like I say, most of the work's been done. We're just on the last couple of bits now, just finalising everything. But the first aid's been booked, the waste management's been booked with Pendle Borough Council. We've got the portable toilets booked, the traffic management's been booked, the road closure's been submitted to Pendle Borough Council. The premises licence and the temporary events notice has gone into Pendle as well, and that's all been arranged. We've got a variety of entertainment taking place. So we've got face painting, donkey rides, Punch and Judy shows, inflatable hungry hippos, a surfboard simulator. We've got a stunt team, a drumming workshop, caving experience. We've got inflatable axe throwing, crazy golf, and then we've got a variety of stage entertainment as well, such as live music, dance performances, children's magic show, and then we've got the finale, which is the Disney Princess Sing-Along, which will go down brilliantly. We've also got meet and greets on the day with different princesses, because the princesses will also be taking part in the parade. We've got stilt walkers, drumming groups, mascots. We've got more floats this year than we did past couple of years, which is always good. We've got loads of community groups involved as well, whether they're on a float, whether they're walking on foot. And we're also working with some of the businesses to try and get the businesses involved, just to try and make it the biggest parade that we can. Obviously, with it being the first year that the town council's taken over the running of the gala. The event's got a lot of support from local businesses this year, which has been absolutely fantastic. So we've got a couple of big sponsors, which we've got EFS Global, we've got West Riding Hyundai, Bees Knees and McAdams. They've kindly sponsored some big parts of the event, but then we've also been working with all the local businesses, all the smaller businesses in the town, where we offered a local sponsorship package where they could sponsor free events. At a really affordable price, worked out £50 an event, and then I think it was £100 for the Grand Prix, or you could do all three for a package sort of thing, and for that they get a banner on the arena. So when we put the arena up for the stunt team, it will all have banners on from all the local businesses to showcase what Colne's got to offer. But the fairground's all been arranged, so we've got all the rides arranged to come along, and Michael's kindly sorted out all the paperwork with Lancashire County Council to get them through the estate at the right times to make sure there's no issues. The estimated net cost, so after all the income in, it's estimating to be around about £7,000 for the event, which I think is pretty good going for the scale of the event that we're putting on. But if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask away.
Dorothy, Andy, and then David.
I've just noticed it says starts at the Crown. How's that working?
So that's the parade starts at the Crown.
Yeah.
So it'll be formed on Shaw Street like normal, but the actual parade will start, it'll come up at the Crown, if that makes sense.
Oh, from Shaw Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. And I have to say, I did apply to be a gala princess, but was rejected.
Yeah, just for clarification, please, if you don't mind. I'm looking at this layout up at Holt House. You've got a 40-metre square arena,
Yeah.
which is just going to be short of basically half of the pitch that I can see. Got Crazy Golf wrestling on one side, on the other you've got the hippo surf and axe throw. But then it looks like you've got about 15 metres, maybe 20 at the most, in front of the stage. Is that a definitive plan, or is that one that's going to be a wait and see, maybe juggle? We've got scope to juggle around.
It's a rough plan, but to try and do a plan to the right ratio is an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
So there'll be more room than what you actually think. up there, but
Yeah.
there'll be plenty of room in front of the stage, plenty of room for people to circulate around all the activities without blocking.
That's one thing. Is the
So
amount of
there'll be no queue. Queues won't be blocking or anything like that. From what we've worked out, there's enough room for people to get around, even if people are queuing for face painting or donkey rides or watching a performance on the stage. But looking at obviously the paper plan, it doesn't give you the real ratio
No.
of the space you're working with.
It's always the mean for me. Axe throw, obviously that's going to have big safety nets, everything else.
It's inflatable, but it's not actual axes.
Inflatable axes.
Yeah,
Okay. When I see axe throw, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to be throwing axes around.
no, don't worry.
Yeah. All right. No, it's just that obviously if there's scope for jiggling around, because obviously we've got to look at the passage around the arena plus whatever's going to be in front of the stage. If it does get like we've seen up at the various events at Town Hall, up at the top there, when you've got the stage, you can see how many people are there. It's going to be, are we going to be able to have enough there room?
Yeah, it's all been worked out, but obviously the plan, it's hard to look at a plan and work out what space we're working with, but there'll be plenty of room.
No worries. What about parking for the day?
It's weather dependent at the minute, but we're in talks with the rugby club to see if we can utilise some of their land.
Yeah, I think Josie up there they'll be more accommodating. Are we going to be providing parking attendance as such? Because we know how bad it gets up there.
Yeah.
So we're going to need people down on Harrison Drive, Birtwhistle, either letting people up or down, because otherwise, I mean, Dorothy can tell you, we've been up there for a veterans morning, where if you've had a football on or you've had a rugby on, you've had the runners on, it can be an absolute nightmare with people trying to get in, and it just becomes gridlock. Yeah. So we are going to need, I would suggest, looking at some sort of form of traffic management to stop the gridlock. Otherwise, people are just going to complain about it, and we'll just get in.
I can speak with traffic management company to see if they've got any suggestions.
We can always utilise ourselves if anyone does want to volunteer, obviously, to be help with traffic management and that. Or if anyone wants to help direct people to the right place, it'd be greatly appreciated. Nick, have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, David first, then Nick. Sorry, mate. Sorry, David.
Come on, you're on.
You're
Yeah.
on.
That's the question I was going to ask. I've already talked to Nathan about traffic management. This is the only event, or the gala was the only event, because what we're going to put on will be bigger than what has been before. But it's the only event that tries to use Harrison Drive with a two-way traffic system on the day. If you have a massive football match like when Bury FC come and brought 3,500 fans, all the cars are going in at once and all the cars are coming out at once. This event goes on for maybe 2.5, 3 hours, and you're trying to go both ways. It very, very quickly will block the road. I haven't a solution, as I said to Nate. I don't know which is the best way to do it, but you need to be careful if you're not going to cause an adverse press. But the one thing that you must remember is since the last gala, and it was attempted as a two-way thing, the emphasis on the traffic at the bottom of this road has now changed. It's now the emphasis is in favour of the cars coming in, not the cars going out. So certainly when Colne hosted Bury and everybody were trying to get out and the emphasis was on coming in, nobody could move whatsoever. And cars took it upon themselves to use the footpaths. And that is something we do not want to see. So it is an area, like Andy, that I have concern. It's a fantastic event because he always puts, and it will be bigger than what we used to. And the truth is, we just need to be careful because there is not just Harrison Drive, because you've got to go one of two ways. You've either to carry on down Harrison Drive or you've probably to go on what I call the worst road in Colne, which is Birtwistle Avenue. So, you know, we have to think about it, where we're going to park them and what we're going to do.
Right, some of the questions you just asked there, over previous years I've been running it, every year I put more and more yellow cones out to stop the bulk of the corner as you're coming onto it, but you still get the ignorant person wants to park the car wherever they want. I can't fight, I can't argue with them. All I can do is put more cones on this year to help us as well at the beginning of the week. I'm restricted with times from school, can't put out until 9:30 at morning, and it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's us getting in. I put cones on the Sunday. There's a big football tournament that week. When we're moving in on the Sunday night, Monday, there's a big football tournament up there on the Saturday and Sunday.
That's correct.
So
if you follow one another, there is the
Well, yeah,
motorbikes.
they've just been on, haven't they, this weekend?
Well, if they have, they were very, very quiet.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. They put the marquee up last week.
Well, I don't think.
I'm sure it will this weekend. But if I put more cones out,
Yeah.
I know a lot of people because I've talked to them over the years. There are one or two against you, but there's a good lot. What is
As I
it?
say, I can't even offer a solution. I live on the end house on Rimington and I see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah,
And the truth of the matter is, I don't know how you would stop it.
yeah.
But we've got to somehow attempt.
On the day,
Yeah.
we should have stewards. I
Yeah.
usually have 3 or 4 stewards, but I'll be honest, I haven't spoken to Nathan about this part
No.
of it. But if we've got one at top with a yellow jacket, knowing that what he is, and somebody back him up, because sometimes you need backing up, to keep it clear, that access. It's not that, it's for fire engine and ambulance. We've got first aid there, but as they come up, they come to the top, they turn right and they go, if the weather's okay, straight down the road past the football club, which is a purple right away,
Yeah.
and park in the bottom field, if the weather's okay. If not, we'll try and park whatever, or just go, you know.
I mean, I visited this site and obviously I know it very well. It's in my
Yeah.
back garden, more or less. And what happened last year just could not be avoided.
No.
That weather was absolutely out of this world.
I've gone back as many years as I can, and I've
I
never
were
known
on
that
field
weekend.
and
That
it
was
went
much
nearly,
rain.
you know,
Yeah,
you
It
couldn't
was
have done
low.
anything more than what you did.
yeah. But at the same time, I can only apologise for something because the committee was then down to bones, no skin, just bones. So we got through and we had a disaster weather-wise, but we're still here to tell the tale,
Yeah.
which is a good thing. But more corns to put out, more things, keep it clear. I can't guarantee clear. It's going to be clear all the time. I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to suit everybody, but unfortunately, I do it for the kids to come. Simple as some families. What won't be going away this year, that's for sure. But the fun fair are doing a special night, Friday night, where it's £3 or £4 on a lot of these fairs. We're doing a £2 fair. And that's to make sure the people who haven't got a lot can get in there and say, we're doing the same at Skipton as well. £2 Friday night. Might bring a few in. 2 people who can't make it the Saturday will do it on the Friday, but we try as best, but at the same time, diesel, insurance, staff, wages, it's mental. You're talking thousands of pounds just to put this on itself. You know, it's a great expense, but up and onwards, it's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, hopefully we've got much better weather than we did last year. I just think Doc wanted to ask something, then Nathan. And
Yeah, when we had our first fun day in the park, we had an emphasis on people walking rather than bringing the cars. Now that could have, in hindsight, that could have done with being on here if these posters are going out. If you can walk, you know, I know I've said this before, 60 years ago about, when my mum and dad used to bring me from Accrington and we used to stay with my auntie and uncle on Harrison Drive, and then there was droves of people that would walk up Harrison Drive from round here, you'll know that, won't you, David? Of course, people didn't have cars. We have one, but you know, not a lot of people had cars, obviously. But everybody has a car now, and they tend to use the cars. So, if between now and then we can get something out to, even if it's only on Facebook, to say to people, please try and walk up to the park. And some will.
So I'll speak with Mick and the traffic management company. We'll get a good plan in place, try it this year. But once we've got a plan finalised, we'll send letters out to residents in the immediate area just to let them know this is what's happening, this is what we're going to do to prevent as many issues as possible. Kaylee started a graphic before she left today, which were about parking, showing that there's other car parks in a walking distance of Holt House, and she's put on there, please walk where you can. And we'll be putting that out on social media about 5-6 times before the event as well.
Andy?
This is one that's going to be expensive. But if we're looking at using the car parks around town and you say people try and get people to walk in, you're always going to have somebody who'll turn right. It's not great, I'm going to drive. And you'll have it from North Valley, you'll have it from South Valley. Now, has anybody actually thought about having or seeing if we can sponsor a shuttle bus that'll do a round robin through town centre and in town? Yeah. Has anybody actually come up with that idea, or has that just not been thought of at the moment? Because it could even be sponsored as well.
How much does it normally cost footballers?
It's still, I know it's still 3 weeks away.
It's just adults at the Blues.
I think if we were encouraging people to walk, those that don't walk, it's going to reduce the amount of people that would have normally drive to the event. But if we're encouraging people to walk, I think there'll be plenty of parking for those that live a little bit further out, or they've got young children who need prams or walking aids or whatever. But so I think if we have a traffic management plan in place to make sure we haven't got two-way traffic, and we've got stewards getting people to park sensibly so people can still get in and out, and we're encouraging people to walk, I think it will prevent as many issues as possible. To do a park and ride system, you need a couple of weeks to plan it, to advertise it, and it's not the cheapest. So even with a sponsor, if you're lucky to get a sponsor, because it's hard enough getting sponsors at the minute.
Because at the moment, like I say, you're looking at Holt House, you're going to turn around and say first come, first served basis. You've also got to look at disability or multibility accessibility. So are you going to turn around and say, okay, we'll leave 15 spaces just for people who've got a blue badge, or 20 spaces for people with blue badges, and actually keeping them clear? Because that's something else you're going to have to look at as well. Because otherwise, if you say, well, first come, first served, and say, I don't know, say Dorothy turns up, she's got a blue badge, she's bad on her feet, and she can't even get there now because there's no facility. But yeah. Yeah.
Where you just come over that part, if everything goes out sunshine, that's the disabled parking. All the people straight out the wall, on the driveway. From there, 3,000 front. All you got.
Yeah.
So, at the top, disabled parking.
I just want to point out as well, like, if we do have traffic up there and we're trying to get a bus up there as well, it'll cause more problems trying to get get a bus up there, get a bus like drop off there and back, and you've got the cars as well. I think you're just adding a bit more.
That's why you have the proper management where you leave a space that's clear.
Yeah, I mean, like getting it up there. I mean, fighting like through their rush hours, bad enough as it is. Add that onto it is just going to make
Like I
it.
say, it's a suggestion. It's not me.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
It's an option that has anybody actually thought of it yet?
Yeah, because what we're going to do is, well, we're going to get like a letter sent out, obviously, to the residents of Burton, so obviously to Harrison Drive as well, to inform them like a week or so in advance, so it gives them time to prepare. That they know what's going to be going on, they know what traffic management's going to be in place for it.
Yeah, because one of the things you definitely do is you definitely need people at the top to actually guide people to where to park and where not to park, because you know what people are like.
Yeah,
They'll see a big gap in front of you, like say, might be the disabled spot. I'm going in for that, and that's it. They might not have a blue badge, but it's something we're going to have to be on top of.
yeah, it's something that we will be able, we can be able to enforce that, and obviously with obviously Mick's guy as well, and if Nathan can get a couple more as well, it should have us quite covered on that one. I'll take Dorothy's last one on this.
I mean, our problem, as we all know, is the topography of where we live.
Yeah.
You know, you've got a big hill to climb, and if you live on this side, you can come down, but you've got another. You know, if you're walking, another big hill to climb. I would like to propose that we discuss this again next year, but earlier. You know, and then if we can think of something that we can put in place that will work, we're not discussing it 2 or 3 weeks beforehand.
Yeah, that's fine with me because we'll get this out of the way, get the feedback done. And if the feedback necessitates it, then it is something that we can go ahead and discuss at a future meeting.
The other thing I will actually, just as an addendum for that one, actually, is there is a bus route. Is actually get it publicised on here as well, so people are more aware of it, especially the timings, and let people aware of it. Say there is buses that go in the vicinity. If we're not to provide it, at least let them know about it as well. Because I couldn't tell you now I know what buses they are, and I know how big they are, and I know how much damage they cause it on average.
Every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
One goes that way, then one goes that way.
Yeah.
60.
And that's to the bottom of, well, that's to halfway up Harrison Drive.
It goes to the roundabout then onto Burton.
If we publish it, say, like from town centre, because if they're using our parking up here.
It's the bus that
Yeah.
goes around the house.
Yeah,
It
60.
goes, yeah,
So I think if we advertise that one as well,
Yeah, we
if
can,
they get, you know, instead of using it,
yeah, that's fine.
but it's like I say, it's every 15 minutes having that on there as well.
Perfect. So on to item 10, which is the family fund. So Howard.
Just following up from Dot's point of a debrief and
Yeah.
what have you. I think for next year as well, just listening, there are obviously other things going on at the same time. You said it's a football tournament, there's a something and there's a something. Let's try and coordinate so that it's not weekend after weekend after weekend.
it is, and you can't. Unfortunately, there are 3 different organisations, and the people of Harrison, that particular piece of Harrison Drive, get it 3 consecutive
so
wins.
I
And I
think
have to say, up to press, the Gale has been the best one of the lot
well,
by
there
a
you
long, long way. We get more problems from the others. I know it's a sensitive thing is football, but I'll tell you, theirs is worse organised than the 3.
We have a certain week catch, the 3rd week of June.
Yeah.
Because it's before that, cheap play, I will know that one. We're setting goals, there are more events up there. More goals come up there a lot of years. At the same time, the rugby club, they seem to be having a lot more events, but they have to keep their football.
Yeah.
So, you know, fortunately, it's just, but I think they've got to be, you know, how is it what's going on? You know, we're still going to live by a lot of it, really.
on the bypass, so I was here because we can play at night, so we've nowhere to go. So, because I know the football tournament last 2 years have been almost a week or jailer. And sometimes it were a bit of a mess last year when we took it, but it is that week after week been on. I asked the council not to do anything, because after it's all been, then we hit it. So it's got 6-8 weeks to come back to football. So the under 16 was all that could be organised. I mean, you were after last year, I understand that, but it's also out of my control.
You were extreme last year, and the work you did on the reseeding, I'm a gardener, or of some degree anyway. And I thought your seeding were very good.
Still a bit of touching up.
Yeah. But you've got to remember what the mess was.
The thing is, if I do something, I make sure, but not better, very important.
And you did an excellent job with that. Thank you very much, mate. On to the information relating to the Family Fun Day now, Nathan. Thank you.
So, Family Fun Day is back in Elkin Courts Park on the 13th of July. We've got a variety of entertainment taking place. We've got face painting, we've got climbing wall, dog agility show, we've got dinosaur experience, rodeo sheep, gladiator joust. We've got princess walkabout characters, circus workshops and shows, and we've got a dinosaur fossil digging workshop. We've got a variety of stage entertainment, so we've got live music, dance performances, we've got a princess show, and then we've got a children's entertainer. And then we've also got the arena that we'll be building in the middle of the park, which will be for the dog agility show. And like I say, we've worked with the local businesses to get those involved with an affordable sponsorship package. So we've got quite a few local businesses they'll have the banner on the metal barriers for the arena, which is always good. We've got a couple of sponsors for the event. So EFS Global have sponsored the Fun Day again. McAdams have sponsored the event, and so have PCCU, which is always good. All the first aid's been arranged, the waste management, the portable toilets, all the license for the event to take place. We'll be running the the town council bar as well to help with the cost of the event. And we'll have obviously the children's rides, we'll have the big inflatables like we normally do. The estimated net cost of the events after all the income, we're looking at about £2,500, which I think is pretty good going to say the amount of entertainment we've got taking place. But let's hope it's nice and sunny. We'll send a letter out to the residents in the immediate area with the plans of what we're doing for parking, like we did last year, which it did prevent a lot of issues. We'll do exactly the same again because it worked. So we'll be letting residents know in the area as well, 2-3 weeks prior to the event.
Can you tell us how many stalls you're going to have, please?
So we've sold out for the Family Fun Day, so we've got 40 books on. It's a wide variety. So there's no more than 2 traders selling the same things, just to give everyone a fair chance. So we ain't got 9 cake stalls, 16 jewellery stalls. It's capped at 2 per category or item.
This is very similar to the last one. No. Have we spoke to the rugby club about using their space for parking? Same as
already on it.
We've already done it. And the same again is obviously getting the traffic management as well. Because I think it was last year before when we turned up and there was absolutely no way you could move where the mugger was, where in fact one person was in a disability motorised vehicle. Just come down the footpath, couldn't get off because somebody had blocked the road up, the footpath off with a car.
Yeah, so last year we had a steward on the entrance to the park, stopping people from parking unless they had a disability or needed to park close for access. We created a turning circle so people could drop children off or babies in prams off and then we had all the traffic management signs directing them up to Holt House. And then we had a steward up at Holt House, making sure people were parking sensibly as well, which a lot of the residents said it worked a lot better because they didn't have people blocking the main, taking the residents' parking space, and it worked really, really well. And it got rid of any issues accessing the park, people parking where they shouldn't be. So I think do exactly the same what we did last year, because why change it if it's not broken?
Because this is going to say that's a Sunday as well. I'll take you spoke to rugby and the football club, make sure that they haven't got any events on as well.
Yes, I've already done that.
Okay, thank you.
David, Dorothy,
Nathan, after what happened last time, the people thinking
Their own alcohol on site. Can we not have the security a bit more tighter and some voluntary police on site as well, please?
I think you're meaning for the football fan zone. We're not doing that this year.
No, I mean for the Family Fun Day event itself.
I don't think there were any issues with alcohol at the event last year. I think it was more the fan zone we did straight after the Family Fun Day, which obviously the security weren't letting anyone in with their own alcohol. So I don't think it'd be an issue this year. It was just because we had the Euros final fan zone on.
No, it's just I thought I brought it up anyway as a security reason anyway.
Thank you very much, David. Scott?
Yeah, you've just reminded me there, because I was going to ask if you were employing the same security team because of that issue, but of course you're right, it was only the fans area, which was a disaster really, only because of that security team. The other question I was going to ask was, how many portaloos have you ordered?
3 standard, 3 disabled.
Do you think that's enough?
Yeah.
Why do you think that's enough?
Because it's what we had last year and it worked.
Right, okay.
On these toilets, are they single cubicle?
Yeah, they're your standard portable toilet, and then you've got your disabled access portable toilet as well. So one person at once, close the door behind you, do your business and get out.
Right, because I know I used to do a lot of site work, and it used to be something like 30 people per unit per week. There is an equation.
Yeah, well, when we've put the details in of the type of event, location of the event, the estimated footfall for the event, the activities taking place, it suggested having 4 external toilets, which obviously we've gone for 6 external, just so we've got more than what the guidance states. We had 6 last year, and there was a small queue, but it wasn't 5 or 6 deep per toilet. It were, when someone were in there, you might have had 1 or 2 waiting to use the next 3 toilet. So I think 6 portable toilets for the Family Fun Day is more than enough.
Are you just using one location, or are you using multiple locations?
Just one location, because if you put them anywhere else in the park, you're on a slope, which obviously that's the last thing you want.
Slippery slope to slide, though.
Thank you. The point Nathan made about the parking and the turning circle and everything compared to the year before was a definite improvement, no doubt whatsoever. The number of toilets you put in last year compared to the year before, because I tried to run the thing on the bowling green and we couldn't even get near our door to get his equipment in or out, because there were that meant the queue went right round the central block, and that was much better last year with the number of toilets. You've probably already noticed, but due to the bollards that we've put down the centre of the park, your main entrance to getting your vehicles onto the park is no longer there. Has that been dealt with?
Yeah, so the way we'll get in, there's a gap between the bushes at the bottom, which we've got some ground mats that you can take 60 tonne on them. So the fairground will come on them. Obviously, if ground conditions are poor or it's due to rain heavy, we'll then put them on the concrete football pitch like we did last year. So we've got a plan A and a plan B.
Yeah.
Any food vendors will obviously take them on with the mats and get them on that way. But like I say, we've got plan A, nice and dry, decent ground conditions. Plan B, if the ground conditions are poor and it's wet.
I'm more about the fact that we had two entrances last time. You could go up the road, the tarmac road towards the bandstand, and the stalls and the smaller people like ourselves went in from that side, but the big burger wagons and things like that went in from the bottom. Well, that's now bollarded off.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to have to go up that central part, so it'll need a little bit of watching.
Yeah, so you'll be able to get some going towards the centre circle, and there's a gap in the bush there.
Yeah.
Or you can go right up through the barrier and back down, depending.
Yeah, go right up the road and come down the parking.
Yeah. So
2 ways, yeah.
We've got a good plan. Like I say, we've got a plan A, and then we've got a contingency for if weather doesn't persist. Plan A.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And on to item 11, the cycle race. Oh, sorry.
So they couldn't get themselves out because they had the car to come up to the other side. They couldn't get in because you weren't on the main road, you just parked on people's back streets.
So residents in the immediate area will receive a letter, just like they did last year. With this is what the plan is. If you've any concerns, get in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. And on to the cycle race now, Nathan.
So the Colne Grand Prix is back on Tuesday, 22nd of July. So everything for the event's slowly ticking away. So the security's been arranged, the first aid's been arranged, the road closure, the traffic management, the road cleaning's been all booked. The additional PA system, barriers, portable toilets, commentators all been booked and arranged. We've got Scott Dawson Advertising doing the publicity and PR and the design of the race programme for the event. And obviously we'll get the race programmes printed. We've got a lot of support from local businesses this year because obviously the new package we created, it allowed a lot of the local businesses to get involved, sponsor the events, get bits of advertisement out there. So we've got our main sponsors, which we've got Fort Vale sponsoring the men's and the women's elite race. Coalition Facilities Management have stepped up and taken the support race package, so they've come up to the second race, and we're still looking for a youth race sponsor, which is obviously the first race of the night, which Coalition used to sponsor. Hope Technology have kindly sponsored the first aid provisions for the event and the banner printing, and then McAdams have sponsored the barriers, so they've helped with the cost of the barriers. And then we've got 26 local businesses with a banner on the railings, which previously years has only been about 12, 14. So we've had a big increase on local support. 26. We've got some support from Asda, so they're going to donate flowers and bottles of water. And we're talking to Morrison's at the moment to see if they'll help with the volunteer pack lunches. But that's pretty much it for the Grand Prix. There's a couple of other bits to sort out, like the VIP catering and the VIP bar and those sort of stuff. But other than that, everything's arranged. And obviously, as we get closer, we'll get the final bits ticked off for another fantastic event.
Thank you very much for that one, Nathan. And hopefully, it will be it'll go off as planned, like it does every year, like with success. We've done item 12, so on to item 13, the Christmas light switch on.
So the Christmas light switch on is back on the 29th of November. We've got a wide variety of activities taking place. So we've got face painting, Christmas crazy golf, rodeo reindeer, giant snow globe. We've got Grinch and Cindy Lou walkabout act again because that went down fantastically last year. We've got 2 elves doing a walkabout act, so they'll be walking around for photos and meet and greets, that sort of stuff. We'll be giving out elf hats as well. The reindeers have been booked for this year, so they've all been arranged. We've got letter writing to Santa. We're doing a festive town trail, so we're looking at doing a nutcracker trail. So you'll go around 12 businesses and find the nutcrackers, and they'll all have a name on. You've got to find them all. If you do, you can return it for a nice prize. Punch and Judy, donkey rides, a couple of brass bands, clog dancers, craft activities, and then we've got the Santa's Grotto happening in the town hall again, which worked very well last year. We've got a variety of stage entertainment taking place. So we've got Lord Street Primary School Choir, Pendle Academy of Dance, Barrowford Community Choir, Stevie D Dance Academy, Stage Door, got Children's Entertainer, live music, and then we've got Grinch and Cindy Lou show, and then we've got our headline act, which they're to be announced close to the time, and then obviously the fireworks finale. Everything's been arranged for the parade, so the sleigh's been booked, the security's been booked. We've topped up our stock of torches and glow sticks. Gavin Young's going to be hosting the stage again because he's done a fantastic job past couple of years. We've almost sold out the stalls for the Christmas market, which we're going to be doing it outside again because we've invested in more weights. We did it last year and there were no movement in any gazebos or traditional market stalls. They're all clamped together with 4 times the amount of weights they should have had on. So I don't think they're going anywhere. So we've got 12 stalls left. The plan for this year is to close the road on the Friday again to allow the team time to set the market up, get the staging, get the fairground in, just because otherwise it is a very, very long day on the Saturday. So that's all been arranged and sent into Pendle. Toilets have been booked, waste management's been booked, first aid, all that fun stuff. We'll be doing the town hall bar again, so we'll be doing normal draft spirits, mulled wine. Again, to help with the cost of the event. We've got quite a lot of support as well from the local businesses. So we've got a new sponsor for this event. They're sponsoring the main stage, which is XLCR. We've got them on board, which is great to be working with those guys again. Bees Knees have sponsored our headline act. And then we've got a general event sponsor from McAdams, Farmhouse Biscuits and Coalition Facilities Management. The estimated net cost of the event is around about £12,000, but that's for everything, staffing, all the marketing, cherry pick hire, generator hire, everything, which for the size of the event, I think it's pretty good going because last year it cost us about 22. So I think we've done quite well there, but if anyone's got any questions, fire away.
I think Howard, David, and then Andy.
Excuse me. The usual point to make about the flaming torches, and you can use the word flaming either in both of its senses. But in view of the problems that there were last year of getting problem here, people champing at the bit down at the Crown, I think we just need to make sure that when we need people to be there, it's there and sorted, because that, like Father Christmas, was sort of betwixt and between, didn't really know where to. Well, he knows where to go because, of course, he's the real Father Christmas, but he was a bit stuck about should he have been here? Should he have been at the bottom? And the rest of it. And the other thing that I think is particularly we need to think about is after the terrible problems that there were last night in Liverpool, there's a fair amount of, apart from all the usual rubbish that's on, that it was whoever did it. Anyway, we'll leave that bit. The main thing that I think looked a bit obvious on something that was on the news at 6 o'clock tonight was that cars were coming out and going into places where they shouldn't have been because there were road closures. Now I've noticed over the years this happens at Blues time, at Remembrance Day, and also at Christmas, particularly at the end of it where it's the sort of rolling roadblock, that people do come out of those side streets when they shouldn't, because the road closure sign is there and people move them and they come out. I think we just need to be more aware now because of what has happened last night than maybe we have been in the past. So we've time to think about extra looking at. I mean, it always amazes me, particularly everybody knows when Remembrance Sunday is, yet you get people coming up some of these side streets and they're there chomping at the bit to be let out. So turning their engine off for 5 or 10 minutes and just letting everybody go past. So it's just something I think we need to talk to the traffic management people about and make sure that we cover that as best as we can. Hopefully it won't happen, but there is the 1 in something chance that something could happen, particularly as it seems that was what happened last night in Liverpool. It was someone getting through somewhere because they say they followed an ambulance, but on some CCTV that was on that showed that car, there were other cars in the background moving where they shouldn't have been. So we just need to be aware, because I've seen it happen coming up and down, and I always wave my fist at them and sort of stand in front of them. But we've just got to be aware that it is more important to bear that in mind.
Thank you for that, Howard. What we will do. We will contact them going forward and make the necessary arrangements. So I'll go to David and Dave.
Nathan, do you know at the Christmas picture on every year, are there any quiet places for people that don't like the noises, that got anxiety?
There's always quieter places for people to go. So there's the library, there's Colne Citadel, St Bartholomew's, there's Pendle Family Hub. So there's 4 just off the top of my head that those that struggle with the noise, with the busyness, with everything that's going on, where they can go to get away from it, and then when they're ready they can come back and join the rest of the event. So there's plenty of places for people to go, and that'll continue for every event that we do.
Thank you. Andy?
Well, actually, continuation on the one with the vehicles first. Yeah, I've seen it the last couple of years myself. I've even confronted people who say, "Listen, it's shut for a reason." People moving barriers last Blues. In fact, one last year, I confronted him. He couldn't get anywhere. He turned right. He drove off round the corner, parked up, and buggered off. But he actually sounded like he was either drunk or off his tree on something else. But definitely need to have a clamp down on the traffic management. The one I was going to suggest is we're providing the bar Christmas events. Do we have any matting that goes down for behind the bar for insulation? Because if you're standing there all day, because I helped somebody out last year, and I was absolutely frozen after 2 hours. So I'm just wondering if you've got any matting, like plastic insulation matting.
We've got matting that goes behind the bar, and we've just ordered 2 infrared heaters that they've made for gazebos. So they go around the top pole, and it's got 4 infrared heaters that come down, so that any staff working behind the bar, they've got the matting. Billy's told to wear appropriate footwear and make sure she's wrapped up, but we've also got the heaters as well.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of duty care for us as.
Yeah, and obviously staff all get breaks as well. So
free drinks?
No chance.
I'm not trying. At least I tried.
Just going back to the road closure, I just had this conversation with my son just before I came up here. He's driving home from somewhere and he gets bored, so he rings me. And I was telling him that with our road closures, and just about 3 years ago, I was coming from somewhere, but I was coming up here in a taxi and it was barricaded off. And the taxi driver got out and he moved the barricade and drove off. So my son said, "Didn't you say anything, Mum?" I said, "Well, no, I wanted to get home, really, you know." But these taxi drivers are going all over the place and they need to get from A to B. And so this is what they do. So I think we should be, or, you know, taxi licensing maybe, should be sending out a message to them. They don't tamper with the barriers. They just don't.
So this is an issue we have every year, mainly at the Blues, and no matter what you report to taxi licensing, they're not bothered. So all the taxi firms get a letter 6 months in advance saying, like, this is the details for the road closure. Make sure all your drivers are aware. They then get a letter 2 weeks before. Same sort of information. This is a road closure. These are the times. Make sure everyone's aware, and they don't listen.
Andy, are you on taxi licensing?
I'm not, but I actually had in a situation earlier this year where on Dockeray Street, a Hackney carriage taxi pulled up on the double yellows just before the road closure by the library, and he sat there for a good 20 minutes of watching him. Then he turned around, reversed up into the little alleyway, so you're blocking off the footpath. And I went up and I said, "Are you all right? You waiting for a lift? Are you waiting for somebody?" "Oh yeah, you want a taxi?" I said, "You're not supposed to be here picking up. You're supposed to be at the police station there." So, and as soon as he saw that because I've been working up here, I had my lanyard on for the council. And as soon as he saw that, "Oh yeah, I'm going now anyway." But they will always chance it. But we've got to, as councillors, I think we.
Well, I was just going to suggest that we take this to taxi licensing.
Yeah.
And see what, and I don't know, it's not Brian Newman that's the chairman now.
I'm not sure who's the chair.
Who it is. But we'll try and.
Well, we've tried working with taxi licensing officers. We've put extra measures in to give them a pickup point. With the Blues especially, it costs us £2.5 more now because we've got the private hire pickup point, the Hackney taxi pickup point, signage throughout the whole event area, and you can't help them because they won't help themselves.
We need to start, as councillors, I think we need to start.
And we've even asked if we could get an officer from taxi licensing to attend, and we get told, "No, we're busy."
Is that not Wadge?
Does Wadge not cover that?
Wadge isn't taxi licensing.
No, I know he's licensing.
So he's just licensing. Wadge has helped us out the past couple of years trying to solve issues, but he's not allowed to. So
what about the licensing officer from the police?
Trying to get them there. Once the police turn up, they'll behave. But before that, they just don't listen. Right. They block
Leave it with
everything.
Do we not still have the meetings with the police, the fire brigade, the paramedics and the council?
We have the
Prior
ESAD
to
meetings.
events. Can that not be raised on them that they do supply?
It's been raised. We've raised it to Neil Watson. We've raised it to everyone at Pendle that we think they might be able to help. And it's always, we don't get anywhere.
Well, you've got Dorothy there. She's chomping at the bit now with taxis. So
we'll leave that with Dot.
I just want to talk about Santa's sleigh. For the last 2 or 3 years, since the music on the sleigh broke down, there's not been any music. And when that happens, when there's the music on the sleigh and it's loud, everybody just follows the sleigh, the middle of the road. Now, last year, when there's no music, people just wander off and walk up the pavements and anywhere. There's not, it needs, and also there's no atmosphere when there's not that the sleigh and the music. They're just wandering around with these torches going here, there, and everywhere. So, and they always say, "Oh, we'll fix it," to the Rotary, but it's never fixed. Never. These last 3 years, nobody's ever fixed it. So I'm sure there's somewhere we can have some music on that sleigh.
We're providing the PA system and the USB with the music on from now on, because once it was raised last time, we've spoke with the Rotary and we've said, right, we'll provide you a PA system, a battery-powered speaker that's got a USB slot in, and we'll literally click play and you just have to drive. So the music situation, consider it sorted.
You know what I meant, because you were turned around trying to get them all to come, and they were all wandering all over as if they were walking round. You could sit on the sleigh and sing, maybe, all night. There'd be nobody by the time I got to the top of the hill. They'd all be gone. I'm going to deal with it a different way.
I'll take final question from Patricia.
Thank you, Chair. I know we've been dealing with all this. There was one question that was brought up just after Christmas, regarding Christmas tree. Are we having one? And are we? Where is it? If we are, where is it being placed?
Last I was aware, town clerk was dealing with it. It's probably on a pile on her desk because obviously she's been dealing with year end and a couple of other issues. The town clerk. So she's on annual leave this week. When she's back, I'll sit down and find out where we're at, because I know we was looking at a couple of different options. So I'll have an update for the next meeting.
Can I?
Thank you, Chair.
They don't do well. It was because it was £4,000 to get it, to put it safe. So Sarah Coburn Price said at a common area that Barnfield, what's it called, Tim Webber had said they would get a Christmas tree, a real one, and they would pay to make it safe and anchor it. But I know that maybe I know Barnoldswick have a one that's all lit up, don't they? The big one. So that is more expensive, obviously. But David Whips said you might be able to do a deal with your people who put your little lights up. So
we was talking to the guys at Light to do the rest of the festive displays, and they provided us with 3 options where they could put the tree in when they put all the rest of the festive lights up, and depending on the features of the tree, depending on the price. But I think the one me and Gina thought would be more suitable, I think that was the cheapest one. But like I say, I'll check when she's back, and then I'll bring an update to the next meeting.
you better check with Sarah Coburn Price, because if she's asking Tim Webber and they both come with 2 trees, you need to decide what you're going to do, don't you?
Thank you very much for that. Is there any items for the next agenda? So, is there any items for the next agenda from anybody? No, thank you very much. And the time and the date of the next meeting to be confirmed, but I imagine it'll be in July.